editing, for me to edit effectively, I cannot be looking at text or social media. I do the Pomodoro technique, which is 25 minutes of straight focused work. And that's the amount of time that has been scientifically proven to be the most effective for productivity. Because after that, the brain starts to get distracted and you need to take a break. So I do 25 minutes of straight work and 5 minutes of a break. And in that time, ideally, I move my body and drink water and breathe. But sometimes I go on Instagram. And normally that's what it is. Because I want to respond to DMs. Like, I want to be on there, and that's an important part.
A cute pic.
I want to get on stories, Friday. Right? But I try to remain focused for editing video. I have to follow that, like, single-minded monotasking. Multitasking is proven to kill productivity. So anyways, Pomodoro technique's great if this is a way to condition your brain as well. If you mess up in the 25 minutes, you have to start over. So it's a way to condition yourself to stay focused. Hi, I'm Sky Cowans, and this is my golden hour.
Oh God, what's going on? Where am I going? Dad?
Yes, my son. I am Deuce, the deer god.
I'm so confused. Who am I?
Derek. Your true name is Darkules.
Wait, what?
Yes. You are Darkules, the god of the forest. Season 5.
Hosted by your favorite podcast host, Big Bochi. You already know the deal, mother. What's up? Okay, before we begin, and I introduce our guests on the right, and I introduce where we are, let's address the two elephants in the room. Number one, well, we actually got three. Come up, say hi.
Hey.
Dude, are you going to tell them who you are, how you got out here?
Oh, Connor flew me out here this morning. I'm Jack Bigelow.
That's Bixie. Habibi's in the building. Let's go.
Have one?
Yeah, come say hi, man.
Adib. I'm hosting them.
I'm Stan. You're coming up too. Mikey Fresh, aka Mikey Energy.
What's up, Mike? Network Studios, Culver City.
What's your website, dude?
NetworkStudios.com, baby.
Okay, great. And so, before I introduce our guests on the right, I'm just going to give a little bit of a synopsis of why we are where we are. What?
The camera's right there.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to give a little synopsis of why we are where we are. So, about 5 weeks ago, so I've had this not like intimate relationship, but this relationship with this lady who runs a studio. She was a head writer for Prison Break and also 24. And so I was always kind of kissing her ass a little bit because like I always wanted to like kind of get into TV and stuff. And so I called her like 5 weeks ago and I was like, hey, I'm running this big podcast in Boston. I would love to set up an episode with you. And she was like, I can't right now because I don't think my show's getting renewed for a second season. I got to switch over studios, blah, blah, blah. Like everything's all fucked up. And so I was like, oh, well, that's crazy. Because I'm like, I'm actually going to be out in LA in like 4 weeks. I would love to run an episode with you. Like we could just like show up at your office and do it. And she was like, yeah, let's do that. And so then I was like, fuck, gotta get some plane tickets. So booked the plane tickets, right? Found out today she can't even run the episode. But we still have like 4 or 5 other great episodes planned. And so we're currently in LA. Where?
In Culver City.
Nice. It's our first time out here. We're pumped to be here. We brought the Boston podcast to LA, and we're starting with an East Coast guest.
With a Boston gal.
And so thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to give a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Sky Cowans, and I am from Beverly, Massachusetts, but I now live in Los Angeles, where I've been living for the past 3 years. I'm a video content creator. I have a YouTube.
Really fresh videos, too.
Thank you so much.
Documentary style. It's dope.
Yes, I love the doc style. I call it docu-vlog. And
Who else does docu-vlog? Like, kind of like you?
You know, one of the biggest YouTubers right now is Shane Dawson. Mm-hmm. And I'd say his videos are sort of docu-vlog. But
he drops like one like every couple months, right? Aren't they usually very elaborate?
Very elaborate. Very fascinating.
It's like the death of Jake Paul, right?
Yeah, like the mind of Jake Paul. He did an 8-part series on Jake Paul.
Did you
I
watch
watched
the
every
whole
single
thing?
one, but I haven't watched his new one on Jeffree Star, which I will.
Who's that? Another YouTuber?
Another YouTuber, a beauty YouTuber.
Word. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I say he does a great job. I think that's the direction of YouTube content, is more documentary style, but mixing in more of the authentic vlog style, but telling a story along the way. So
And also being delivered by like a branded YouTuber who people are familiar with, which I feel like you're kind of doing with your content too. Like people like know you now. Like, hey, this is Sky. She's the health chick.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've got to start on the channel, but I see it going far beyond YouTube. This is really a way for people to live their healthiest, happiest lives. So I make videos all about health and wellness content.
Yeah, continue on what you do. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I have a YouTube channel called Sky Life where I explore the world of wellness, and I try all sorts of health and lifestyle trends and challenges and topics and sort of break down the science and research behind them. But I'm also starting to explore more topics in spirituality and the metaphysical and spiritual communities around the world. So that's the evolution of the content forward.
So, and you try out like most health trends, right? Or
There's so many.
I know there's so many.
So I've only scratched the surface, even though I've been doing this for a year and a half. I post every week and I've tried many, and there's still some that I have not tried yet, but I really just follow whatever I'm most curious about. So if there is a health trend that I am curious about, I will try it and document the experience.
Have you tried like all 5? So we just had a dietitian up on the show recently.
I listened to it because I did my research before I came on the podcast.
I was delusionally tired. I'm going to be way better today.
Yeah, I heard 4 hours of sleep. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, that was tough.
I did a video series about sleep, actually, and I interviewed a researcher at Stanford University, a sleep scientist. And the first video was literally just me trying to get the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep that the National Sleep Foundation recommends. And
what do you normally get?
My average is not great, but I'm trying.
Do you have Fitbit? Does it test it?
I did, but I don't like having the Bluetooth on me and in my sleep, so I don't use it anymore.
A little anxious about it, or?
Yeah, there's some concerns about Bluetooth and EMFs. So
okay, you're scaring me now. What's
no, I don't want to scare you, but I just don't like having it on me when I sleep. I try and turn off all Wi-Fi, all Bluetooth, put my phone on airplane mode when I go to bed.
So what were some things the sleep doctor recommended to improve your sleep? Would you say like black out the room entirely, or?
So the first video was just trying to get more sleep, and then the second was sleep hacks. And there were certain hacks to do with your body temperature. One of them would be to take a warm shower before bed and a cold shower when you wake up. I do cold showers when I wake up. And that's sort of to regulate your body temperature. And also light is a big one, regulating your circadian rhythms around light. So minimizing blue light at night is huge. I think that's something most people know about now.
It's usually like an hour before you sleep, right? Like you shouldn't be on your phone an hour before. You guys have heard this, right?
Ideally. Yes,
it's tough,
even
though,
more,
especially
maybe.
If you're in a content space. Isn't it tough for you to shut your phone off?
I'm so bad at it. I mean, with the phone, I definitely try and take time before bed without the phone, but I'm often up late editing. I'm still editing all my own videos, so that's very time consuming.
You're a hustler, man.
It's time consuming.
Adobe.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you tried every single popular diet now? Like
no,
keto,
really,
paleo.
I tried keto. I'm doing Whole30 right now. I try and stay away from diets because I don't want to promote diets. It's more just my own curiosity of how it works for me and trying to understand if somebody wants to implement it into their life, if it might work for them, and give some of the research behind it. But the one thing we do know from most of the research is that diets don't work long term. I'm doing a health coach certification right now as well, and I'm learning a ton about all of this. And I think diets overall, they're always going to fail long term. And we see that the majority of people, when they go on a diet, they often will regain the weight back if they lose weight while doing it.
Well, a diet's like a mindset, right? So how would you encourage someone to eat healthy in that case?
So
just like, dude, sack up and like eat healthier. Because Deeb's on a wacky diet too. Like he lost 20 pounds since I last saw him.
Yeah, I think it can be useful to, for a short period of time, discipline yourself. That's sort of what I'm doing with Whole30. And Whole30 isn't meant to be something that you do long term. It's 30 days of discipline and no processed food and eating mainly whole foods. And you're restricted in certain capacities so that you can understand when you introduce those foods back how your body reacts. So you're not supposed to eat legumes on Whole30, no sugar.
Legumes, for reference, are like beans and
Peanuts. Even peanuts. And then after, there's a food freedom plan. So you do 30 days of this elimination diet, and then you start to reintroduce foods, and you have to really take notice of how you react to it. And what they do is they remove offending foods that typically give people issues. So grains is another one that you eliminate. But the whole idea is that you get to learn how your body reacts to food in a much more intimate way, because I think that's the key, is that our bodies are so different. That's one of the core foundations that I'm learning in becoming a health coach as well.
So where are you at with the Whole30 right now, days-wise?
I'm 3 weeks in.
So can you just elaborate to them what the Whole30 is? Because you kind of told me on the phone.
Yeah, so it's basically just a way of eating or a plan where...
Not a diet.
I wouldn't say it's a diet. It's a self-experiment would be a better way to describe it. And for 30 days, you are only eating whole foods, unprocessed, and you have certain restrictions: no sugar, no grains, no legumes.
Can you just elaborate
no
on
MSG.
what a whole food is?
That would be unpackaged foods.
So organic food would be a whole food.
Well, it doesn't have to be organic, although I do try and eat organic, and I often shop at the local farmers market. I think it's another really important thing, is seasonal eating. There's so much that goes into all of this, but I think it's simple, actually, as complex as we make it out to be. It's just eat real food. Don't
eat that garbage.
Eat real food, seasonal eating, and listen to your own body. And you asked how would somebody just eat healthy. I like the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule, because for me, whenever there's restriction involved, especially I think for women, we deal with this, that restriction just automatically, you like think about it more. And then you beat yourself up if you have something you're not supposed to have.
You want what you can't have.
Right. But if you allow yourself 10% of the time to eat what you want, but then on the day-to-day, you're generally making good decisions for your body and your health. And I think this just takes time to learn how to do this. But that's why I do think there's a value in self-experiments and diets for a short period of time if you're being really intuitive about it and not restrictive.
You want that? That's what you wanted? One of these?
Turn the mic so it's pointing at you.
Okay. You can...
I don't want to cut you off.
Hey, no, we're doing great. Have you ever heard of the term orthodexia? It's
orthorexia?
Isn't it like obsession of healthy eating?
Yeah, I did it. Actually, I studied news in college, and I did an entire news piece about this on my college campus. And I also I made a documentary about body image, and that's very much involved. It's an obsession with healthy eating and working out to the point where it's overtaking your mind. And I think I had a mild form of this in college.
I think I might have a little bit of it myself, honestly. It's like a term. It's like you're obsessed with being overly healthy. So, for instance, like I, for the most part, prep every single meal. I don't really do any complex carbs. I don't do sugars really. And then I'll feel like totally derailed if I have anything that's out of my kind of realm. So I think I would fall in like an... Was it
orthorexia?
Orthorexia. I'm an orthorexic, man.
Well,
help me, man.
At least
how can I change this?
It could be worse, because at least you care about your health. I think that's really important.
That was kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. But I really think it's just about releasing the self-judgment and the mental constriction that comes from being overly obsessed with needing to be perfect. It's really a perfectionist thing.
It's an OCD thing for sure.
OCD as well, perhaps, yeah.
Do you think you have a little bit of it too? Because health is like, I'm not saying you do, but like health is like kind of like your world.
I think I might have used to, until I started to let go of that stress because it wasn't serving me anymore. And as the more I incorporated spiritual practice, mindfulness, self-love into my life, the more that started to fall away.
Cool.
And now I do feel that I have found a really good flow that works for me when it comes to taking care of myself, eating really healthy, like overall.
Like what did you eat today?
Okay. I'm doing Whole30. So I have a meal prep service from Territory Foods, and I had for breakfast.
Shout out Territory Foods. Shout out the sponsor. Sponsor my girl Sky. That'd be fire.
And they're awesome. They're all locally sourced.
Oh yeah, here's the sales pitch.
No, I'm not trying to. I actually really like it. But the one thing I'd say is I prefer cooking all my own food. But we have busy lives, and it's really helpful to have.
Especially when you're editing a million videos.
Yeah, it's really helpful. So I had a like egg scramble with spinach and peppers and onions. It was like a vegetable egg scramble.
Okay,
and
tell me more.
That was breakfast, and then I had
Starving.
a shoot, like a video shoot. So then afterwards, I stopped and got a smoothie, and it was a hemp smoothie, hemp protein with cacao.
What was that like?
It was so good. I love hemp protein because hemp is incredible. Hemp is such a powerful plant, and it has it's a great source of protein, but also essential fatty acids.
Do you get high as hell when you drink it? Do you?
Well, there's no THC in it.
But
No.
but we had those hemp guys up. Do you drink hemp?
No.
What are you
don't
drinking?
get high from hemp.
No, you don't get high from hemp. It's the CBDs. It's the whole this new universe of product. That
All right, man. Sorry.
Yeah,
We're from the East Coast, dude. We're not with all the hippie stuff going on out here.
Cannabis, the plant has two species. There's hemp, and then marijuana is the one with THC.
Yeah.
So hemp
that's what Aquaman's doing. What about that?
You're on the.
He's on the non-hemp.
Okay. Yeah, we all like a little bit of that every once in a while.
Callie loves it, huh?
Callie loves it.
Well, Mike's souped up. Well, it's fully legal in Mass now, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty lit.
There's just like one store.
There's a few.
Cool.
There's 5.
He knows everyone.
Well, it's Aquaman. Okay, so tell me more about the hemp smoothie.
So it was just hemp protein, and it had cacao, it had banana, and that's about it. And then almond milk. And then...
Oh, so you are... Oh, no regular dairy though, right? For
no.
You?
Not on Whole30.
Definitely not on Whole30.
No dairy, but I normally would have some, maybe. But not milk. Goat cheese, maybe.
Wait, so on Whole30 can you do meat?
Yes.
It's got to be like straight off the farm though, right?
It would be preferable, I think, to have a locally raised piece of meat, but I don't think that's a requirement for Whole30.
I definitely want to try it. And so you're day 13?
I'm further in than that, I think.
How do you feel? Do you like it?
I feel good. I think that for me, I normally don't. I used to think about food all the time. I had that orthorexic issue where I was thinking about it all the time. What am I going to eat in order to be healthy at lunch or dinner or whatever? And then I just kind of let go of that stress. And then I was not thinking about food, and it was so freeing. And I just had learned, okay, this sort of works for my body. And now I'm thinking about food more, but I think it's a good thing because I think I was under eating before this because I wasn't thinking about it.
Calorie wise?
Yeah, I was just going all day without eating and not thinking about it, and I would eat too few calories per day based on my activity level. And now I'm thinking about it more, but it's good because I think I'm eating enough now, and I'm eating all whole foods, so I do feel good.
You look great.
Thank you.
I feel like you're very cognizant. Like, what decisions would you make in your diet to improve your cognition? Because I saw you did some tests on like Alpha Brain and others.
Yeah.
So that stuff totally fascinates me.
I've done a lot of tests on how to improve productivity, focus, overall cognition, cognitive enhancement. And
so give the East Coast family like 3 things you would do to just be a little more focused or a little more productive.
There's all sorts of things out there now that you can take. Supplements, there's MCT oil, there's nootropics, there's neurofeedback, which is something I tried that's brain training. All that's fun, and I've tried a lot of it to experiment, but nothing beats the fundamentals of mindfulness and meditation. It's just simple. Dude,
how do you meditate if you're totally out of your mind?
That's the thing. That's the nature of the mind. So we have to be okay with that. And it's less about, okay, we have to quiet the mind and the stress of my mind's just so busy, rather than just allowing it to be so. And that's the practice, is just witnessing the craziness of your own mind without judgment, as if you are watching traffic on a sidewalk and you're just watching the traffic go by, your thoughts are going by, and eventually you can get yourself to a place and train in other deeper forms of meditation where the goal is to have no thoughts. But that is not necessarily where you start, or that's not the goal initially. It's literally just, can I just be with my thoughts and not judge them and not get involved in the thought.
How do you get to a place like that?
It's just a practice like anything else.
Just a discipline?
Yeah, I think you can start. There's proven research to show that just a few minutes of meditation a day is very effective. So you can start with doing 5 to 10 minutes on an app.
Well, like, I've honestly tried to like actively meditate like a lot. I'm a little ADHD, so you know, I'm like right here, I'm like meditating. Oh wait, Jack's got a pink shirt on. What color shirt's a Deebs? Is it gray? Oh my God, is Mike looking at me? I don't even know. Oh my God, do you see these lights? Oh my God, they're glaring. Do you see the bags under my eyes? Oh my God, what the hell?
It's okay. That's the mind is it's we call it the monkey mind, and that's just the nature of what the mind does. It wants to control us, and we have. For me, I think about it like there's so much chaos up here in the brain, and for me, the practice of yoga and a moving meditation has been instrumental, and singing mantras, because it's allowed me to drop from this place in the mind to below the neck, as I say, where we get to feel deeper into our heart space, into our gut, and into our body. So anything that makes you feel your body and your breath and build that connection, you're literally building neural pathways.
See, what's really interesting to me is like you're totally self-aware and like you're like very holistic, but I sometimes think that video editing can totally string you out. Do you ever feel that way? Like staring at the screen for so long, especially with your production value?
Yeah, it takes a huge amount of focus, and I don't think the human mind is meant to be making that many quick decisions technically every day while editing. But for me, my brain, you know, we talk about left and right brain. You're either one or the other. I've never felt that way. I've always felt that I have a creative side and a technical side, and that's why I love video production and editing and content creation, because it merges my technical brain with the creative side.
It's like playing a video game.
Yeah.
That's how you feel too? Oh yeah. Truth bomb.
Yes.
So when did you start to like totally become into health in the human body? So you went to Elon, right?
Yeah. I loved Elon.
Elon.
That's great.
We were talking on the phone that there's like a big Elon population in Southie as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's in LA.
There's a lot of Elon kids out here?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever see any?
Yeah, I do.
Are there any PC kids out here? Do you?
There's LS people. PC?
Yeah.
Not many.
No.
A few, but they're coming slowly.
Cool.
Yeah.
The Army. So when did you start totally getting into like health and wellness?
It was an interest from a young age, actually.
I was the same way.
An innate calling or interest. And it started with my mom being interested in the alkaline diet when I was about 8 or 9. And that's now what Tom Brady does, is pretty much alkaline diet. And
yes,
it was
sir.
Not heard of at that time. Me bringing green juice to elementary school.
You were bringing green juices to elementary?
Yeah.
15
years ago, I was being made fun of, and all my soccer teammates called it swamp water, and now everybody's drinking green juice.
Swamp water. That's a fire insult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
But I didn't care. I liked the idea of also being different. Of, oh, if I take care of my health, this is going to improve every part of my life. I just understood that from a young age. I think that this is going to make every other part of my life better. I was a soccer player, and I wanted to improve my performance on the field, and that's why I started yoga when I was 15.
So this has always been kind of a calling.
Yeah, just a fascination too.
Isn't it wild how you can look back at like some of your earliest habits and it's like, damn, I was kind of like destined to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, and I think that most children have something of that nature, and I think in education we should be encouraging children to follow more of that natural excitement.
Don't get me started on the academia.
I know. I just had a conversation about this with my parents because my brother Juno is 14. He's looking at schools, and I was going off about the education system and the public education system.
Is he a good student?
Incredible. Yeah.
Oh, he is a good student.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And so what was the argument about?
Oh, it wasn't an argument. It was just I was jealous of all of the schools that he was looking at because
it's like Harvard, MIT type.
Well, he's going to high school, but he's looking at schools that have alternative education style learning.
And I felt Phillips Exeter, like Belmont Hill.
Yes, and I felt that I went to public school, and it was a great experience for many reasons, and we had a really good media program, and I got to have a show on the local cable station. So that was incredible.
So you're a young scholar back
I
then.
think that
Young Sky life.
that was a blessing for sure to have that. But I do think the type of learning and the education system, and particularly for me, it stunted my own intellectual curiosity because I was only trying to achieve for grades and to ace a test or to get a good SAT score. I was not learning to learn or learning how to learn. And I was just, I mean, you can't get that time back. It's valuable time when you're growing up to follow your own curiosity and learn for the sake of learning and learn how to learn rather than learning just to achieve. And I was just so wrapped up in the mindset of just achievement because that is what was being reinforced.
Well, sometimes I think that obviously the education system is wildly outdated, but the social skills you learn at school are so wildly important.
Absolutely.
I mean, you'd agree, right, Jug? Yeah.
And I think
so if you go to school with cool kids and like you can mess around and like we used to do something in science, my freshman year of science, where we'd see how many laps we could do around the room without the teacher noticing.
I did.
She ended up bawling her eyes up by the end.
Oh my
of the
gosh,
year,
I did so many shenanigans in science class too, like making cartoons with friends and just causing a ruckus. And
having people try your celery juice,
right?
In the green smoothie.
Yeah, exactly.
Try the swamp water.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was always doing cleanses like I don't do that anymore.
You could probably teach high school science now.
I don't know about that. But I think the social skills point you made is key because that is the reason why my public school education was great, was because I got to be involved in class government and being vice president of the class and getting to know all different types of people and doing theater and being part of the music department and being an athlete. And there's all of that is invaluable. It was just the learning in the classroom that I wish was a little bit more less
stifling.
Yeah, less stifling. Yeah, more allowing me to follow my own curiosity. So
you're into health, you leave Elon, and then you ship it out to LA. A lot of East Coast people that will be listening to this, a lot of people in Boston think there's like very little opportunity in Boston. And so can you kind of explain your decision to leave, come out here, and why you did it?
So I graduated from Elon in 2016, and I took this summer to really get clear on what I wanted, but not even that, just to really go inwards and to get quiet in my own minds. And there's so much stress that comes with the transition from college into the real world, as they call it. And I intuitively knew that rushing into a job was not the right path for me, that I needed that time to really just
figure it out.
Yeah, and not even figure it out, but just be. Like, we rush so fast from the next thing to the next thing. You're rushing from high school straight into college. I always wish I took even a gap year between that, right?
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like, there was such an inherent stress at the end of PC as well, where everyone's like, oh my God, I gotta get a really good job in finance, and I gotta make $80,000 a year and get into a career I hate. I felt like the same way as you. Yeah,
there's just this pressure, unnecessary pressure to rush to the next step and to know exactly what you're doing. And I was looking at opportunities that would be okay, I'm gonna leave college and start this job right away, and it just didn't feel right. And I felt that I needed that time. That time was so crucial for me because in that time, one, I got to spend time with my cousin who was 6 months old and babysit him. And being with a little baby is so healing because the only thing that you can be when you're taking care of a baby is to be 100% present for that baby.
That sounds literally terrifying.
It is, but it's so beautiful. You're just hanging with a baby? Yeah, I was taking care of a 6-month-old baby that summer and doing other things too to just save money and make money. But that time was so beautiful, and I would read. That's when I found some really incredible books that always find you at the right time. There's certain
book?
I started with The New Earth, Eckhart Tolle, and then The Alchemist, and then The Power of Now, and
Oh.
Yeah.
The classics.
It's the ones that find you at the perfect moment in your life.
Audiobook or paper?
Reading and audio. I listened to The Alchemist so many times because the guy's voice is incredible in that book. And then I was reading the Eckhart Tolle. And
You guys familiar with Eckhart Tolle? Fire.
Incredible spiritual teacher. Yeah. So that time was so crucial for me, and I felt so lost and confused and felt the pressure as people were starting jobs and the summer was ending and I wasn't going back to school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do with my life? And I was working with energy healing, and that's sort of a form of therapy that I had started doing earlier in college.
Energy healing?
Yeah.
Reiki?
Not Reiki, but a bit deeper. And this woman I was working with does all sorts of different types of it.
Like what?
But
Like
she's
putting
like a
like
psychotherapist, like a licensed psychotherapist, but uses Eastern philosophy and yogic practices and energy work.
So what, like
in her-
rocks on, like stones on your back type?
More like
Like magic ball?
working with our energy centers and doing some really deep, like letting go of trauma in the body kind of stuff, where
How do we do that?
okay,
A couple of these?
I just did this motion because what we would do, we do talk therapy, but we would also do I don't even know, it's over my head what she would do, but for somehow she would get like stuck energy out of my body, like pain that's been locked in my subconscious for years. She would get it up and out, and it would result in a cathartic release, like crying or screaming or whatever you need to get out of your body. We hold on to so much we don't realize from our past. And so it's a lot of that type of work and a lot of yoga.
Wait, so is she physically grabbing like your stomach and like, get this demon out of you?
Not physically grabbing, but like
sounds like The
energetically.
Exorcist kinda.
I feel like it's like sort of Exorcist like.
The power of Christ compels you.
It's and all of this is I'm learning more about how this works scientifically and the neuroscience and the connection between the brain and the body and the subconscious mind, and it's so deep. I'm just scratching the surface of it all, but I didn't really understand it. All I knew was it was working because I felt release every time that I would do a session, and I felt that I was making progress in just letting go of all this unnecessary stress, pressure that we've been holding on to for so long.
Oh, so you really felt like totally tied up by the end of college. Like you felt like, damn, like very anxious.
Well, I was on a certain path in college that was, again, I was told this is the way it goes. You study journalism, and then you have this narrow path of working in television news where you get a job at a local news station and then work your way up. And nobody told me that there's so much opportunity in digital and making your own
Content, yeah.
business out of making content online. And I somehow just learned that along the way, but I didn't understand that you can make a living doing this.
Okay.
And now I understand that. So
Mike's over here celebrating.
But anyways,
Mike's got the fresh studio. Yes, sir.
Yes. So I got very off track. But basically what happened was at one point I was looking at different opportunities, even in New York, in Colorado, and then in LA, some in LA. And this never happens to me, but one night I woke up at 4 a.m. with a very strong message saying you have to move to LA.
What do you mean, like a calling?
It was
type?
literally, I woke up in the middle of the night knowing this. I woke up, you have to move to LA. I've never had that type of clarity in my life.
So what happened to you, Adib?
Yeah.
Honestly?
No.
Okay.
No, I've been boiling in anger in Boston. I didn't feel that.
Okay. Well, your story's not nearly as good as hers.
Yeah. And it was it was so clear. And I'd say also that it came out of a time where I felt the most lost and the most confused about what the next step was. And when I finally just surrendered, this was part of what I was doing with my spiritual mentor, is what I call her, is just surrendering in the not knowing, just being okay with the not knowing. And we did a lot of work around that. And I don't really pay attention to astrology because I don't like making my decisions based on that. But I didn't realize this. I realized after the fact it happened to be right on a new moon, which is very symbolic. And yeah, I just moved a few weeks later after a horrible breakup, and then peace. I'm out.
Oh, you're going through it. There's a lot going on in your life at this time.
Yeah, that's always the most exciting,
So do you get here and you start working for BuzzFeed immediately?
I got here with no plan, no job.
Wow.
At all. I moved with literally no idea what I was doing.
You had a little money stacked up?
I saved money that summer, yes.
Cool.
But it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to hold me over for a few months because I knew it would take a few months. Money. Yes, and other babysitting and
well, if you look after newborns, that premium price.
It is because
it's
a baby.
Exactly.
You gotta pay good money to take care of that precious child.
And all you gotta do is just look at the baby for like hours at a time. Babies can't do anything.
Diaper and feed it.
Yeah, sounds riveting. Sounds like
it
a
was
blast.
amazing.
This stuff scares me, man. So you apply for the BuzzFeed fellowship program?
It starts with an internship, and then you can advance the fellowship.
This is in the BuzzFeed heyday, kinda.
This is the end of the Colton era, as I say.
You guys remember when BuzzFeed was popping?
It was like the tail ends, because I was one of the last times they did this program. But this was their way of just bringing in new talent or creators.
And giving you a
without
shot.
Needing to give you benefits.
Without paying you good money.
But it's a full-time position.
And you also kind of have that BuzzFeed affiliation, which like as a video creator is at that time was like, oh my God, this is a big deal. And
it's invaluable because of the learning. It's like boot camp and content creation for the internet.
And how to turn something around really quick, right?
Yes. Yeah. The internship is you're basically a PA on sets every single day, learning all the production. And then when you advance to the fellowship, then that's when you're actually doing the job of producer, and you're producing the regular quota of 1 video per week, at least.
Wow.
And that's what I do now.
Of your own idea? Like your own idea you execute on 1 a week?
That was what I loved about it, is it allowed creators to take ownership of their own ideas. And we would have group brainstorms, but we would all brainstorm together. And if you came up with an idea, usually it would be that, okay, you get first dibs on that, you can do it. But then you also give ideas to others, and then we like kind of figure out who's going to do what. But for the most part, it was, I'm going to come, I have all these ideas, and then these are the ones that we're going to run with, and you get to take ownership of it from start to finish.
Do they have a curator? Like if you were to go make a video, and let's say you made a video and it was terrible, would a curator say like, this is trash, there's no shot this is getting up on the channel?
Well, it would go through quality control, and you get notes on it, and but that didn't really happen, except for sometimes things would fall through where the video wasn't going right, and then you just scrap it. But that wasn't a big deal if that happens.
So it wasn't like a chopping block, really. It wasn't like all the interns were like, oh my God, who can make the best video to get a job here? It was more like, no, we're going to help you work through some of your ideas and conceptualize ideas and execute on them.
Yeah, but you did have it was a lot of freedom to just do it. You just had to make it happen.
And so the fellowship was done, and then you do what?
Okay, so
people love hearing these LA hustle stories.
Oh my gosh,
I love it. I think it's so interesting.
This was such another pivotal time, because at the end of the fellowship, what happens is at this time, there's openings for a job, or there's not, or there's like 2 openings, or there's no openings, or there's 5, and at every quarter you have no idea, and there wasn't much transparency around what was going to happen.
So you're getting a little nervous.
It was like I could get hired, but I could not. There's no way of knowing. But I was very happy and content with all the work that I did in terms of the performance of the videos, and me being able to make good videos that I felt proud of for the most part.
That's Sky sauce.
Yeah, I was pleased with I put my heart and soul into my time there. So, but there's no way of knowing what would happen, right? Because that was how it went. It's like, okay, there could be spots or there couldn't be, and I wanted to work there so badly, though. Like every part of me wanted to
You want some more water?
Yeah.
Thank you. This is like very kind of you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. This is
you guys having fun?
Service.
Mike, you having fun? DB having fun? Cool.
Everyone having a good time?
I'm having a blast.
All right, we're getting to the peak of the story.
Wait, so okay, but you're at a point now where you don't know if you're gonna get a job.
Okay, so I don't
know.
know.
So you start looking for another baby.
So no, I was so focused on just putting, because I knew that no matter what, if I pour myself into this and give it 150%, then that's all I can do. So I was not starting to look. I was like, I'm just going to put everything into this and I'll figure it out if it doesn't work out. But I will only feel good about this if I give it my all, no matter what happens. So and at the same time, I was going through an insane housing crisis, like crazy landlord, psychotic in Silver Lake. And
where is that in comparison to here?
It's on the east side. It's close to Hollywood. It was like 10 minutes from where I worked. And it's close to Los Feliz, kind of on the east side of Hollywood, and it's a great area. And I moved in with a group of girls.
What would it be applicable to in Boston?
I don't.
Nothing.
I don't know.
Like Roxbury, kind of.
It's really hipster place.
It's hipster.
Maybe
It's
Cambridge.
Little Somerville, maybe.
It's uncomparable. I don't know.
Okay.
They have really good
Yeah,
brunch spots.
You're definitely doing vegan.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, you're doing vegan
good
in
music.
Silver Lake.
There's like a good music scene.
A lot of swamp
very
juice in Silver
hipster.
Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's probably even more where I live in Venice.
You're gonna hike.
Yeah, there's
You got-
Griffith Observatory.
Okay.
It's
cool.
a great area.
We should go. Let's go.
Okay, so this is crazy because in the middle of my fellowship, like right when the internship ends, I get accepted to the fellowship. I'm pumped. Right when the fellowship starts is when some crazy shit went down with where I was living. I was living with a group of girls. We moved into this sweet house in Silver Lake. It's amazing. It's too good to be true, because then we're dealing with this property manager who's like, she's chill, but kind of questionable. But then this landlord comes into the picture, and he wants to move back in with us, and he's like a 7-year-old guy, like super creepy vibes. Anyways, there's a lot that's like goes into this, because he made a movie called Seeking Revenge and like Road to Revenge. It was a very strange situation.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into all the details. It's just
Wait,
one
so
of
this
those
70-year-old dude was like making like indie movies, and he was like, "Hey, I want to move in with these young chicks."
He owned the house. Okay, but we didn't know that when we moved in. We were just like, oh, this is a house. Here's the property manager. And then he comes into the picture. He owns the house. He's like, I want to move back in. And we say, that's not okay with us.
So you're just like walking around the house naked and like... It's like, hey, I'm home, girls.
We had some creepy things happen, like with people coming to it was... From the beginning, it was almost like haunted vibes. Like, this is too good to be true, because the house was sweet. It was such a good price. I had an amazing bathtub.
You had the BuzzFeed job. Everything was going
was going great, and then shit hits the fan. And so then there's months of us trying to figure out what to do, because he is threatening us. Like, he wants to kick us all out of the house so he can move back in, because we said no to him living with us, obviously. So there's all this shit going down that we're trying to deal with. And all the girls I'm living with, they're trying to find other places to live, because we decide, okay, we just have to get out of the situation and detach from these people. This is not a good situation. We just have to leave.
Wait, who's these people? I thought it was one guy.
With the property manager, the owner, they were just shady.
Oh, wait, there were two 70-year-old dudes?
No. The property manager is who we were dealing with initially, but then she works for the guy. So she's not being fair or...
she was part of the indie film crew too?
She was just there's a whole crew. So
okay.
I have to go, this story gets longer, but long story short is I did not care. I honestly only cared about working at BuzzFeed. Like, I just wanted this job and I wanted to give it all I got. So I wasn't even like thinking about, I'm like, I'll figure out the housing. So the end of the fellowship comes, and I am going to find out if I get a job or not. And literally on the same day, like, the other girls are moving out of the house, and I don't know where I'm going to live next. I know I can live there for another month, but I'm going to be there alone. Like, it's really up in the air what I'm going to have to do, where I'm going to live. And I find out that there's not a position. I'm not getting hired full time. And I was so crushed.
So the house is gone, the job's gone.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait. If I poured everything into this...
How old are you, like 23?
Yeah, I'm 23. I poured everything into this, and if I didn't get this, then what is life like? I was so crushed and devastated, and but again, and at the same time, I know, like, I just intuitively, we always know that these moments are meant to be. They're all perfect. And it truly was like such a blessing in disguise. And yeah, I didn't know where I was going to live. But luckily, what happened was when I was at BuzzFeed, I made a video it was about DNA testing for fitness and nutrition, how you can personalize a fitness and nutrition plan based on your genetics. And the company that we use, Fitness Genes, they do this test, and the CEO was the trainer for the video and did all the science for it, and the video performed super well. He's awesome. This guy's incredible. And I produced the video, and he offers me a job. He says, if the fellowship doesn't work out, you can work for me. I'm hiring somebody full time.
Fire.
So I immediately start working for him. So I knew that was sort of like, that was the backup plan. But yeah, I was still devastated. But it was the first step into entrepreneurship, because at that point, okay, I'm working for Fitness Genes, but I also manage my own schedule. I'm the only employee in LA. I'm on a contractor basis now because they're a London-based company. Then I start to get these ideas again, and for videos I want to make. So then I start working on Sky Life in the meantime, and then started working for a YouTuber as well in that time to keep a foot in the YouTube world.
What do you mean working for editing the YouTuber's videos?
I was editing for him when I started, but
he was posting. Say his name? Is that cool?
Say who it was?
Yeah.
His name is Joey Graceffa.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if this was like top secret.
No, it's okay. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Joey.
He's huge YouTuber.
And
he's like an OG YouTuber.
Yeah, he's OG, started, when in early stages of YouTube.
Like Muffins. Like, you guys remember Muffins?
I remember Muffins.
That was a huge... I think he was from Boston, that guy, right?
He is. He's from Massachusetts.
Like shoes.
No, Joey is too.
Oh, that's how you guys linked up?
We linked up separately, but then we found out that we're both from Massachusetts. We both have the same birthday.
And we're both awesome people.
And it was a soul connection, I think, with him. And he's awesome. I was originally started producing and editing, but he was posting every day at that time. And the job with Fitness Genes was full time. So this was like on the side, just extra money, pay off the student loans. Also love Joey, want to work with him, keep a foot in YouTube world.
You're hustling.
I'm like hustling, starting Sky Life. But the editing was every single day he was posting. So I said, I can't possibly edit all your videos. So he had an editor take over, his old editor, and I just produced for him. So just was helping him with content. Yeah, like once a week we would shoot for a day where we would shoot a couple videos. Yeah.
From that experience being around like prevalent YouTubers, like what's like the biggest takeaway from that, especially with like what you're growing now?
I just think
because that was like the early days of like, well, it's not like early, but I'm assuming this is like 2017. Mm-hmm. That's like when YouTubers started becoming like celebrities almost. Or am I like delusional?
No, I think that's true, but even a bit earlier maybe. But yeah, I learned a lot about all of it. I just learned that you can create a full business. It's not just a YouTuber. You can create a full, robust business through YouTube in all different ways. Joey has all sorts of incredible books and products and merch, and you see YouTubers doing a lot of that now.
They use it as a marketing platform.
In a way, but it's also just a connection to a community that you build, and I think it's so cool that it's just allowing for more people to do what they love and what they're passionate about.
Do you ever feel like disconnected with your audience just because a lot of it's through a screen?
That's always a disconnection when you have a screen involved.
How do you bridge it?
But I do feel really connected to the people that watch my videos, and I think it's given me a way to connect with people from all over the world who shared the same core values of wanting to live a healthy, happy life grounded in self-care and self-love and spirituality. And I just see a movement of this through the community that is through Sky Life. And yeah, there's nothing that compares to face-to-face human connection and energetic connection. Like, there's literally nothing that compares. But these tools are social media. It's a way to...
I like that you call it a tool.
It's a tool for sure. And it's just allowing for more people to become connected, so that my goal eventually is to create in-person experiences, transformational retreat experiences
Can
and
I
workshops.
tell you something? I think
Sure.
you're gonna get it done. Whatever's on your mind.
Oh, thank you.
Where do you want to take everything? Like,
Yeah. So, yeah,
you're
I
like
think it's
really like it's incredible because like you're so holistic, but you also have like a really good entrepreneurial sense. I've like never met anybody like that. It's like a dichotomy. Most people are like very holistic, aren't usually totally business savvy.
yeah, I think it's just very fun, all of it to me, because I like to keep an open mind to everything. So I see the value in logic and science, but I also see the value in limitless potential and not knowing. And that's what's exciting to me is we're going to learn so much more in the next 50 years about the connection between the mind and the body and the spirit.
We got to stay off our phones though.
I think the phone is a tool. And so I'm learning a lot about the neuroscience of how our phones keep us addicted and digital wellness. That's a huge part of what I'm doing.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I am on my phone too much. I love running episodes. It's so fun, but I actually have started to really dislike distributing content because I feel like I'm constantly consumed with the screen.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to really setting boundaries for yourself.
I mean, but you're like full speed. Like you edit all the time. How do you just like stiff arm a screen?
Well, editing, for me to edit effectively, I cannot be looking at text or social media. I do the Pomodoro technique, which is 25 minutes of straight focused work. And that's the amount of time that has been scientifically proven to be the most effective for productivity. Because after that, the brain starts to get distracted and you need to take a break. So I do 25 minutes of straight work and 5 minutes of a break. And in that time, ideally, I move my body and drink water and breathe. But sometimes I go on Instagram. And normally that's what it is. Because I want to respond to DMs. Like I want to be on there, and that's an important part.
A cute pic.
I want to get
Flashback
on stories,
Friday.
right? But I try to remain focused for editing video. I have to follow that like single-minded monotasking. Multitasking is proven to kill productivity. So, anyways, the Pomodoro technique's great if this is a way to condition your brain as well. If you mess up in the 25 minutes, you have to start over. So it's a way to condition yourself to stay focused.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you. Gents, any questions? You got something? Okay.
What's your number one thing that you do every day other than meditation to stay present in everyday life?
I'm just going to
really
reiterate that.
Yeah, repeat that.
Jack said, what's the number one thing you do to remain present on a day-to-day basis outside of meditation?
Every single day I would be meditation, but outside of meditation, I love, like, music is really important to me, and I often moving my body for sure, some form of movement, yoga or exercise, but that happens mostly every day. But what does happen every day is listening to some type of music that allows me to feel connected.
What are you bumping right now?
I have certain songs that that make me like pumped about life.
Okay. This is going to be a psycho test. Like, what are you listening to?
Well, there's like two songs, but they're meaningful to me.
Just two songs? That's all you listen to?
No, I listen to so much stuff, but like these songs are in my mind. It's conditioning. You know,
what
I
song
associate
to
them
scare me?
with like.
Is it like death metal?
No, it's like not Nako Bear, like Nako medicine for the people, like yoga music. But I love Coldplay.
Habibi loves Coldplay.
2 new songs today.
What?
2 new songs.
Yeah, I know. I need to listen to them. I didn't have a time.
You did
chance
like
yet,
them,
but
or-
my friend texted me both.
They're different.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Coldplay. That was the best concert I ever went to. And there was a moment where Chris Martin made everyone put away their phones and just sing together, and it was awesome.
Oh my
Speaking
God.
of getting off our phones,
It would have been awesome if we could see that.
it was incredible. You were there?
No,
I
well,
was
like,
there. I love the Coldplay concerts are unbelievable. You should
Yeah.
go. They're really, really good.
They're incredible. So,
we gotta get you on some Boston artists.
hmm?
We gotta get you on some Boston artists.
Yeah, who are you listening to now? Who's in right now?
In Boston, the Latrell James has a great project. You probably might be unfamiliar with him. There's a young man named Millie's. Shout out to Millie's. And Cousin Stiz is actually, I believe, out here. Have you heard of Cousin Stiz? I'll get you a little music after this.
Sweet. Send me a playlist.
Be dope. Trying to show love to the hometown, man.
Yeah. I think you asked me a question I never answered. I was just thinking of about where everything's going.
Oh yeah.
And then
Where's the brand going?
I'm trying to.
This would be a good way to wrap it up because we got to.
You actually asked me, but this is great. This is so fun.
We'll run 100 episodes, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see. To me, my mission is to educate, inspire, and empower us all to live our healthiest, happiest lives. And the content's just a way to start doing that. And that's always going to be a very key token of Sky Life. But the real mission is to create a full lifestyle brand, wellness brand, through events, through coaching. Health coaching is going to be really important for me because I really want to help people transform their lives and their health. So doing one-on-one coaching and doing group coaching and online courses. And it also extends to the events and retreat experiences and in-person workshops, really taking a lot of what's in the videos and giving people an opportunity to experience it in real life in a community setting.
How do you differentiate yourself in that niche? Because I feel like there are a lot of YouTubers who are like growing fitness and health brands, and as an entrepreneur you got to be a little competitive, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't consider myself like a fitness or health brand. I see, like I said, I'm evolving everything to be more involved in spirituality and spiritual communities and subcultures. And I think it's more of developing a way of life than just, here's how to eat healthy and exercise. It's really about developing a whole like core value system around a brand. Yeah.
I'll go to some of your events. We'll do them when you come back.
Yeah, I started doing small ones here, but
cool.
I'm going to be doing a retreat next year.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Phone-free retreat?
Probably. Yeah.
Whoa.
My friend Tommy Sobel, who I learned a lot about the neuroscience of our phones and digital wellness from, he started a phone-free company.
That video.
Yeah, he does phone-free retreats. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, did you feel like totally digested?
It's just so different the way that we interact when no phones are present, where you create a safe space where everybody's on the same page, where we're going to put our phones away for a weekend, put them in a VHS case, and we're all on that agreement.
It's wild.
It's different the way that we connect and communicate. And I feel that I often remember people's names so much better.
I heard that in the video.
It's really interesting.
Okay. So listen, I had a great time. Wait, in terms of, I got one more question.
Okay.
So there is a very underdeveloped YouTuber and influencer space in Boston. There are very scattered, like, Mike, like, or you guys haven't met yet. Mike was like, yeah, like, I know this, me and this girl here are so close. You guys have never met in person. But,
we will someday.
Would you recommend, in terms of developing a following and developing a brand, that people in Boston should try to build out of Boston, or there's more opportunity to come out here?
I think you can do it anywhere.
The internet.
We all have the same tools of using the internet now. So it's really just about finding the community wherever you are that could support that. I mean, I could probably do this in Boston, but being here for what I do.
You'd be so cold, though.
I love the cold now. I used to hate the cold.
Oh, but now, that Wim Hof.
Now I love the cold. Yeah, I used to hate the cold. That's like a huge reason why I went to school in North Carolina, why I moved here. And now I quite like it.
No, I'm pumped about this weather.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So listen, can you give just one last little plug of like where to find you, who you are, so anybody listening and watching can find you?
Yeah, sure. So look up Sky Life on YouTube, check out the channel, and let me know what you think. I love feedback. And I'm also on Instagram at Sky Cowans. And it's
dope content. Like, it's very well produced. It's like documentary style. She makes sure that it's like high quality. She's not just like putting bullshit out there. There's good research to back everything. It's like, okay, you can trust. This is like a trusted source.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
For sure. I mean, it's easy to tell when someone like really cares about their content.
Yes. And I
got you, man.
Care. Thank you. This is so great to be here, and I've had a lovely time.
Being present.
Yes.
Okay, so let's.
Hi, I'm Sky Cowans, and that was my golden hour.
That was like so perfectly executed. That never happens. We're gonna
It's
go.
not that much to remember.